Good morning, everyone. It is March 25th, 2012, and we're at the Namaste Center here in Hendersonville, North Carolina. And we are really in for a great ride this morning because we've got not only a wonderful speaker today, but a wonderful topic. And our speaker is, and my guest, is Robert Tennyson Stevens, a longtime student and teacher of really living in our mastery. He's a creator of Mastery Systems, which is not only about positive languaging, but also the body language, and also the language of the eyes as well. So we'll touch base on all of those ideas and concepts, but we're going to focus today mostly on prosperity, because prosperity seems to be a subject that some people feel as though they may need a little bit of a nudge on, or a different perspective to look on to it. So I'd like to welcome our wonderful guest, Bob Stevens, today. Welcome, Bob. Yeah. Well, Bob, how are you?
Deep. No, yeah, great. I'm excellent.
We know you're excellent. So it's, well, prosperity is certainly, I think, a topic a lot of people are struggling with.
Yes.
And, you know, it's always been something in my work that I've noticed over, you know, since I've had centers and over the past 20 some odd years. But now, a double whammy is the perceived economy. People really are feeling a pinch. And what can people do to shift that? How can we get out of this fear mode and into a more prosperous way of being?
Interesting topic. I've just completed a month-long event with a series of people. And I get to give a big view here. In my view, the illusion is at its final struggle. It's in its death throes. The illusion of working to get just enough to get by. Called survival. How many are glad you have survival? I'll be having some. And yet, if like all of a sudden I don't have air, I get myself survived. That's great. But in survival, reptilian brain, brain stem, fight or flight, sympathetic nervous systems, also called ergotrophic, that we never really relax, which is where our higher brain function is, where parasympathetic is. Love is the only thing that makes us magnetic to our good. Getting by, making do, having enough so that I can pay my bills and not have anything anymore. I mean, I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. There's no motivation for our higher function. And I believe where we are now as a spiritual development and the birthing of our new self is discovering, I look at our governments, our world, our economy, our ecology, our education, our healthcare, etc., 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 and I start to see, wow, the motivation to just get by does not have the juice anymore. How many get that?
Yes.
Yes.
And those of us in the middle of, I used to have this cash flow. I used to be able to operate in the illusion or the old self. So the old man, same thing scripturally, was able to function. Well, now it's like, well, no, you're not going to be able to function that way. And yet, if I still believe that I get money from other people, which is not ever true, I will continue to stay in struggle. And for any of us who are beings of light, and I believe everybody is, how many like the idea I'm a being of light?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
And so if I am a being of light, attempting to get money from some separate self so that I don't have as much stress, so that I can relieve myself a little bit and get something paid so that I can take care of this. How many hear that?
Yes.
That has nothing to do with our spirit-rich, y'all, life. That's a southern term, spiritual.
Spiritual. I like it.
And I know it's a big topic, only in the view, it's like, all right, what am I going to do? Find a way to make more money, which is against the law, by the way.
You can't make money.
Unless you're government, you can't make money. How many been focusing on making money? No. It is to let it flow through us. So my conversation just is, I believe what we're doing here in your group, what's happening all over, I believe there's a waking up in a spirit-fired, white-fire being, whatever the names are, self where the individual realizes, oh, I am one with, in me, the source of my being. My consciousness is what is changing, not my amount of anything. And as an I am that I am, I'll just go right to the heart of the matter here. As an I am that I am, whatever I say, whatever I believe is true. And my job is to change my belief and where and who I am. So I have a whole bunch of step shifts about shifting our consciousness, not our amount of something. So we enter our state in our heart of love and become magnetic to our good, and that which is invisible, inner visible, becomes visible. How many like it?
Well,
Yes.
So, me too. So, yes, my old self's going, how many know that? Yeah, I call it the yabbit. Yabbit, what about the when you shared earlier about the fighting or the retaliation or whatever it was about, just give, which I love. It's a big, strong aspect of the tools I have. So, everyone here is already wealthy. As Charlotte said when we talked a minute ago, she said our wealth is already there, and it is already there. But there is no there. There's only here. We believe anything is outside of us. We are still living in duality and therefore have to operate according to the old self's laws, which is always fight or flight, get by, make do, and die, and then go to heaven. And there's another option, which is I am heaven right here, right now.
Yay.
I am that
Yes.
I am.
Okay.
I am already supplied. So, it's a big question you asked me, and
I know.
everyone here, what I've learned, and for me the richness, and I mean by that in all ways, the richness of having community with unity is what that word means. Having community where we are encouraging each other to shine like the noonday sun, to love with all of our being, to give forth and give forth and give forth and give forth. Clear? That's really what makes us prosper in what already is right here, right now. And to be abundant with what's right here, right now.
So you're really expressing it as being 100% consciousness.
Yeah, I like that, what she said.
Yes. Okay, now, one thing that was very, that you talk about, and I certainly agree to it, and really my work with you personally has been helping me to recognize is the fact of, you talk about, I wouldn't be attracting conditions and circumstances in my life if they weren't in my consciousness. So I'm 100% responsible for the world I see. And we talked during my session the other day with you, we spoke about, I felt like I was operating maybe from allowing God consciousness at 80%. And it's that 20% that I'm still playing in the ego that is allowing all these misperceptions and limiting perspectives into my experience. So how can we amp it up? How can we go 100%? I know you're fully about victory and for ourselves and each other.
Well, first of all, I'm a tough coach. I am a tough coach. So, first of all, the first thing to say would be never say what you just said.
Wait.
Never repeat, I am at 80% and how do I... No. The minute I know, and forgive me ahead of time, the minute I know that something less than my perfection, my job is to reverse that pattern, which means to re-speak it. Revise it, which means re-see it, visual visor, got it? Renounce it, which means rename it. I am playing 125%, always more because there's ever expanding. 100%, how many know that's not even the enchilada? That's still chips and salsa. Yes, so, first of all, speak only what, this is the conscious language piece. And, I've been helping or bringing this to my world, it's all me, for 40 plus years this lifetime. And I do believe maybe we've been here before and whatever. I believe in belief, that's really what's important. And when I first started out in bringing awareness of our language, which shapes our thought, which shapes our consciousness, which is our world, our consciousness rules, that I find that my job in the pristine nature of my world, and like by your words you shall be justified, and by your words you shall be condemned. And this is a really big one, scriptural. A man, not gender specific, a man who offend not in word, the same as a perfect person, and able to bridle the whole body, the temple, and have whatever. So to offend not in word, I can't, I want, I need, I should, 80% is what I'm playing. That's an offense to our true nature. Not wrong. Please get this. It's just not true. If I say, I'm broke and I have $100, am I broke?
No.
No. So how many have been able to say a non-truth and then protect that non-truth? Well, I really can't. Well, if I give you $100,000, could you? Oh, yes. How many get it?
Yes.
How many know that our can'ts are all relative? And it depends on our relatives usually. But so for me, what I'm realizing is, number one, make a commitment. How many get it?
Yes.
And the word commit means to come it. That which we desire does not happen until we commit. But how many thought that was like an outward action? It's not. It's all an inward action.
Yes.
I come it.
Yes.
So if something is to exist, my job is I come it to it, so to speak.
Yes.
I am it. I'm going to say I am it.
I am it.
How about I is it?
I is
That
it.
helps a lot of folks wake up to what the word is. So, speak only what you choose. Everybody got that?
Yes.
And that there's ways to do this. It's in the conscious language system of, in the past, I have played 80%. Vote her victory right now. I'll play 125%.
Yay, 125, 150.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
A fact, not a getting.
Yeah.
Everybody got it?
Yeah.
And she does. She plays, you, Charlotte, forgive me. Charlotte plays 125%. And yet, how many of us have gone, well, I realize once I play at 100, what did I just say? That I'm not playing 100 or 125%. So speak only what you choose. Second, commit. How many like to commit?
Oh, I love that.
I
Yes.
commit to enjoying my wealth. It's so different than I commit to getting more money. If I had more money, then what I would do is I would have a little more money. And it probably wouldn't be enough because my shopping, retail, therapy, consciousness, whatever is going on in my amount of money. How many know what I'm talking about? How many have already paid out what you're desiring? Anyone?
Yes.
How many know exactly, how many have a place for everything that comes into your world? Or your bank account, or your wallet, or purse? Yes?
Yes.
So play 125, show up fully, speak only what you choose, commit, and then go, all right, I am what I desire to be, I am already fulfilled. This is so big, I am already fulfilled, and now go give, bless everybody. Yes or no?
Yes.
Encourage, empower, enlighten, blaze, become your sun-present self. When I read eyes, they sit and they look at these big pictures of their eyes. Got it?
Yes.
And what they're seeing is their sun presence. These fibrils go through each iris. And every one of us is a sun presence. And where we're a little corroded, and a little stanky, wanky, and danky is just our lesson to gain strength and power, and clarity, and purity, and forgiveness, and whatever
Yes,
else it is.
yes.
And it's every single one of us is already what we desire to be, if we will so claim it.
Ta-da. Okay. I appreciate many things about you, but the one I want to focus on at this time is you are direct. You choose to not. You choose to see the victory, and sometimes it seems abrasive or tough. And I think that I know it comes from love from you. And so explain, that where compassion and stroking versus I see your victory. What's the...
I believe I'm a complete being if in my true state. Whether I've ever shown it or experienced it, I just know my good self is who I really am. I got some. I love this statement, even though I may not fully understand it. I choose to fully understand it, and yet I choose to fully understand it. That God is no respecter of persons, therefore personality. So I believe what I experience, I do a lot of coaching, I share a whole bunch of techniques of facilitation. The word facilitation means to make easy. Webster says it's the continued successive application of the necessary stimulus to attain a particular result. I believe that stimulus is love. It's the only power of facilitation to make easy. And when I work with somebody, if there's a standing wave of a belief system, how many know these are frequencies? All of this stuff is frequency specific. And if there's a strong pattern, I have found it's important to match that pattern with equal and greater love in some form. So, for me, abrasive is an interesting word in that, if I have to make a beautiful piece of wood and it's really knotty and rough, I might have to go to a coarse grit to get things to a point and then keep switching it out until it's just pristine glass-like. Same thing is true of all of us. Yes?
Yes.
So I have been with some people who are very loving, and would never ask anything of me, and they don't leave much of an impression. How many know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Now, that's not bad. It's just for me, somebody who's really going to make a difference in my life is going to have to stand all the way up to whatever I got going on. And love me.
Yes.
Full on. So,
Yes.
those who have worked with me, it's just what comes through me. It's my great self always. I always say that if it's not really all that great, if there's error, that's my little self. And if it's really awesome, that's my I am self. My I am presence. And there's no middle ground. How many have made error? The word error means sin, missing the mark. That's what it means. Everyone go, oops.
Oops.
I recommit.
I recommit.
So for me, it's direct is important. And how many of you settle for your loved ones hanging out in their stanky cell? That's us. That's our own self-commitment. So if I were to judge anyone, I could not do any of this. If I made somebody wrong, I'll shut up. I won't say a word because I know that's still me. But usually my presence, I believe, I really believe this. My presence will come right through and say whatever's required to be said, and then my little self will come back over and clean it up. Oops, forgive me. I apologize. Because love wins. And, is it okay that I'm sharp?
Yes.
Here's what you just said. Yes, not always. And the same is true if somebody's that way with me. And that's true. How many saw it first? Raise your hand if you saw it. How many saw it? Go, yes. And I'm exaggerating a bit, but and I agree. There's something in me that might not like sharp, but there's something in me in the past that might not like bright or God or love or supply. My little self that has believed in lack, here's the deal. This is in the bottom line. The illusion is an illusion. Lack is an illusion, yes or no?
Yes.
It is an illusion. Believed in.
Yes.
The word believe means to be alive in. So for me to have any lack whatsoever, I have to turn from, so to speak, the metaphor of my light consciousness and look away from my light and see a shadow, mine or somebody else's, and then believe in it, be alive in it, dialogue, hate it, judge it, condemn it, rationalize it, whatever. Make it okay. Hide it. Oh, no, what? I don't have anything. Come on. And for me, I'm going, no, we're on the final, those of you who know, and I believe everybody on some level knows, this old self globally is dissolving at the speed of light.
Amen.
And our new self is waking up at the speed of light.
That's right.
Yes or no?
Yes.
So the illusion is, let's just get really good like an Aikido move of no and yes, no and yes, no and yes, no and yes. And begin to transform, become a metamorphosis.
Right.
So, and the distinction for me is, if I respect personality, my personality will have to dance with another person's personality. Let's say if Christ were here right now, how many might have a little diarrhea? Come on now. Excuse me, in the line out might be, I'm serious. mean, how many have been with saints and sages in physical body? I have. Anybody else? Who a cleansing goes right on. How many have like, hello? How many have had something to say to somebody and they're really pure and your voice goes, not working? So again, we are all preparing ourselves for what we already am. So for me, I have to forgive myself consistently. And that's always my outer self asking forgiveness. My God self is already pure.
Exactly.
And I frequently will ask, please forgive me, and I'll do it anyway.
There you go. What you were just talking about, this came into my mind when I was younger. I knew at age 7 I was going to be a golf pro. Once I started, I knew that was my path, and that was my vision, my path, and I had a wonderful instructor. And as you were saying this, it sort of made me remember one time I was out with him. He was an older gentleman. His name was Arnold Browning, and he was choosing to get a point across to me, which obviously I was not getting. And he became no, you do it this way. And it got my attention, and he was very firm and yelled at me, and I was obviously shaken. And he said to me, Shar, he says that I'm doing this because I love you and I want to support you in your dream. It's not because I'm mad at you or angry. And I thought of that as a wonderful example of what you're saying. Sometimes we have to just say no. And this is where you're not creating your dream. And as a result, I became a very good golfer at a young age. But it wasn't because he was just all like, oh, you're great, you're great. He was like, here's what you got to do to get there. And I'm grateful for that. So it doesn't always look like fluff and love and stroking.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes. Now, when we talk about giving, and, what are your thoughts on that? Tithing, giving.
It's interesting. I'll build this in a particular way. The word Sabbath, many people apply to a day that it's our religious or spiritual day of no work. And I see it in additional way or different way, which is that the minute I choose something, I might go through a number of requests and actions: seek, mental attitude, ask, verbal request, knock, physical action. Eventually, I will have to surrender the getting of something or take the Sabbath to allow that something to come into manifestation. Giving is a state similar to the Sabbath or to tithing, where if I once I realize, and this is a lot of what this prosperity class is to me, that I've done a lot of coaching one-on-one about whatever comes up in people's lives, and prosperity and abundance and money and whatever is a big deal for humanity, for all of us. And so I found in my own life and in the lives of many people that, especially in spiritual work, to get paid for doing something that's spiritual in the beginning for me when I was 20 years old was excruciating. It was sacrilege almost, and yet, hello, you get to have some money there, well, okay. And I realized that when people would give me money, I would, how many know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't know who I am.
Right.
I finally realized that my job is to receive this wealth through me to my God, my universal supply. Mm-hmm. And don't get it from them, receive it through them from their universal supply. So what I started to do in sharing, and also my own life, it's all me really, is I started to wake up that anyone who shares through me to God, I am a conduit to God, because I conduit mine. All right. No. So in other words, I didn't receive money from people anymore, or from a corporation. I do a lot of corporate stuff, etc. I received it through them from their source of life, our union. I didn't receive it through me, or to me, through me back to my universal supply. Everything started clearing out. So now I realize, what I'm doing is giving my God, whatever form, money, energy, time, support, love, consciousness, forgiveness, whatever it is, I give it through whatever my self-appearance it is, myself or another, into my God, and I receive it through my seeming outer into my God. And magic and miracles happen just by that alone.
Very cool. Well, so when you talk about going into, I want to ask you a question. Let me rephrase this. You obviously have a lot of programs going on. You create a lot of wonderful CDs. You've got lots of sessions. So you're not just sitting there, you know, just waiting for it to fall. You're creating, okay?
Yes.
So you probably put in more hours in a week than some people who have a real job, you know, that what we define as a real job. So what is that exchange? I mean, where do you find your time to recharge your batteries, or do you feel like you even need that? Because you're always...
First of all, I don't work, I serve. I do what I love. I read this early on, so I did receive this through instruction from somewhere, that if I ever, I'll give you, this is the way I remember learning it, if I ever feel tired, I used my own energy.
Yes.
And so, if anybody were to do a tour, let's say a 3-month tour with me, and I've had people who are on tour for the first time going, "You're kidding." Meaning there's no like cruising. No, I'm on mission. So for me, I now realize that as long as I am doing what I love to do, which I am doing what I love to do, I always have I rest. How many rest and are lucid? And when you're supposedly sleeping. I mean, I believe we can have 24 hours of consciousness no matter whether our eyes are closed or we're snoring or whatever.
Yes.
We can remain lucid. There's decrees all over this. There's a book on decrees, a morning and night decrees, one of which is keep me aware when I go to the light and the electronic belt around the physical sun at night, and see I remember everything that happens when I return to my body in the morning. How cool is that?
Yes.
Well, that has now happened for me. In all of my dreams, I am lucid. I am aware. When I wake up, I just open my eyes. And for me, once this is my planet. This is my very own planet. It's our very own planet. And right now, every one of us have every tool, gift, quality of energy, time, money, genius, support, partnership. I mean, if it's not here in the visible, it's in the invisible, which we're to bring forth, which is fun. Yes or no?
Yes.
Which is creative. Yes or no?
Yes.
And so it's impossible for God to get exhausted. How many like that?
Yes.
I remember, I'll make this simple. When I first got married to my wife, Helena, when she was on the planet in 1986, December 31, 1986. 1987, I went and did a whole bunch of classes, and I came home and I was kind of tired. And she goes, "Honey, what? How about you get a hotel room until you're fully charged, and then come and be with your new family?" I said, "No way." I said it in a little bit different way. But I realized, oh, that sucks. No, I wouldn't. Okay, I make an agreement that whatever I do gives me more energy than I had before I started. And it's been that way ever since. So all of you are a white fire being, but we were described as a life stream. That's the most accurate description for me of what each one of us are individually in our Creator, is a stream of life. And that if I were to be tired, I would have blocked off my source. Same with supply, same with understanding, same with health. And my job is to turn and get fed again. Put my attention on my source. How about having fun with everything we do?
Yes.
Sounds wonderful.
And people do that. They do a body language and they go, they go, "I want," and I'm in there, they go, like I said it.
This is very intimidating. It's like you got an itch and you're like, okay. Over there.
That's the little stuff. We're playing an instrument here. Yes. So, any of us that are worried what somebody else thinks is not serving God. Well, any of us who are worried what someone else thinks has that person's thought as our Creator.
That's right.
Yes or no?
Yes.
So let's all shine together and help each other and forgive everybody ahead of time and dig and scratch consciously.
One, two, three, scratch. So, who would like to ask Bob a question? Does anyone have enough courage to ask Bob a question? Yes.
Everybody's scared.
Oh, Brian,
A
okay.
little while ago, he said, if Christ were here. I think he is.
Yes.
I think he is.
Yes.
I know he is.
How about I am Christ embodied here now?
Yeah.
That's right.
Amen.
So I offer it instead of tell it, because we all get to come to it, and I fully agree. You know, until my return, well, that happens in consciousness. You know, occupy till I come is one of the instructions. How many realize that Paul wrote, he said, unless you fail the test, Christ is in you, unless you fail the test. And what Paul was talking about, I mean, for me, what Paul, and still, I believe the word Christ means anointed. Clear?
Yes.
How many have your second self, real second self, right here, right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Be it.
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Shine on.
Yes. Yes.
So yes, I agree.
Yes.
Christ is here. And so is all life here right now. So is every amount of prosperity, understanding, love, health, instantaneously manifest. That's the problem with God, is that there is no problem. Really get what I'm saying? It's impossible for I am that I am to have a problem. So if I'm trying to fix a problem, I've missed the point. If I'm trying to heal a disease, I've missed the point. The word disease means dis-ease. What's my job? Ease. How simple. Well, I don't have enough, I can't afford it, I don't have enough, let me prove it to you. Look at my checkbook or my bank account. Not enough money in there, what am I going to do? Don't look at that. Nothing from there indicates your value. When people come to me, I require an outcome facilitation. All right, what's the topic? Money. No, it's not. Oh, yes, it is. No, it is not. It's your value. What? It's your value. What? I know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Come on. How many realize, oh, my value? So.
Who else? Yeah. Debbie?
Bob, talk a little bit about body language. Just
All right. Okay, just in the basics of body language, and I have a lot of material on this, and I'm really choosing, it's sacred. I call it Sacred Body Language Translation. And, you know, the mundane, the profane version of this is, you don't mean it, or you're closed. None of that is at all what, for me, what body language is. Body language is when I mean, I could take anybody right now and have you come up here, and I could tell you 100% of what's going on for you right now and what it turns into. And there's a static state, which means, oh, my shoulder hurts or whatever, static. But the moment if we ask a question which elicits a healing response, there will be a movement. And what's happening is our hands, whatever is happening, as an example, our hands emit light, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So what we do is we're playing on this frequency specific, this is the temple of the Most High Living God. What? I mean, I've to the degree I have, this is the temple of the most, touch your body, the Most High Living God. How many would look in the mirror going, really? Come on now. And yet we get to remember. So when we do these little... Charlotte was just going, which is, shut up. And vulnerability a victory. It's intimate. It's sacred. How many have thought forms and they're going, no, no, don't stay. Hide, Forrest, run, Forrest, run. So for me, once we get secure and safe, because that's what it takes, sacred body, then literally, and I love, instead of reading somebody else, I love when a person learns it, and they will literally go, all right, so I choose to handle from others, this is self, this is others. All right, I'm making this up now, about the way I'm seen in the world with the masculine hairs and antenna. And then there'll be a whole conversation, which if we'll stay in the conversation, the person will raise to the next octave of their expansion of light. And the disease, so to speak, the dis-ease will be over. In the twinkling of an eye.
Amen.
Serious. I'm serious. So if you will trust that whatever you just notice it, don't be embarrassed about it. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Just have at it. And scratch consciously and get others around you who can help you. And you will see, I mean, I have so much video on this. I mean, I have 12 DVDs on it right now. I desire to let you know that I'm desirous right there. Got it? So, I mean, I'm using it for me all the time. And it's wild. And then you'll see that all of us, at all times, to answer your question, are having a direct communication with each other full on. That our heads might go, oh, and yet all of us know, you all know 100% about everything about me already because you have already seen me. You know what's going on in my life, what I'm about. On some level, your head might be going, oh, what's today? Well, your being knows this. Yes or no?
Yes.
How many immediately like somebody and you couldn't really say why yet?
Yes.
And how many immediately go, run, because I don't like you. You remind me of someone in my life. Get back. So what I did is I asked, and I got the information. And in a nutshell, quickly, I was in a class of 60 people, and a woman, like 5 rows back, had an issue with her mother in a memory. I coached, so I was doing. Most people couldn't see